Hello everyone, and welcome back to Infinite Rails and, apparently, the Infinite Mining Company. Infinite Rails has made another update. They've added the coal mine to the game, and they've added a few other things too, but this is going to be our focus. Now, in a previous stream, you might recall I purchased the hopper. I've taken the moment to load it up. So let's get it hooked up and we'll start heading out to the drop-off point. I don't have a lot of fuel in this thing. Hopefully there's a refueling stand nearby. Now, come to think of it, I think I had the handbrake on, so let's go take that off, and then I'll take a moment and explain just how this whole coal mine thing works. Okay, no, I did take it off. So, they've added some new buildings for this. You have the coal mine, which is what you use to actually, get the coal out. And they have coal mine tower, which increases your production rate. And coal storage, which can be used to store more coal than you might need at any given time. Right now, the coal mine holds 120 tons, and this car holds about 30 tons. Can't remember where the hover over thing is. Yeah, just over 30 tons. Now, one thing I noticed when I loaded it up is it will not automatically stop once you fill the car. It will go until you close this hatch. So, be aware of that. And you can see they have an icon on the map, and the icon is rather big. That 2X tells you I've got double production because I put the extra coal mine tower here. I don't have any coal storage at the moment. Now, they've done similar things to the other industries. If you take a moment and go over to Ponderosa, and that icon is also a little messed up. So, you can now add additional sawmill buildings, and again, that will double the production rate, or triple it if you have 3 of them. And that's really useful because these things are really slow to produce. Then for both the camp and the sawmill, they've added this warehouse. I'm not using it at the moment, but basically, if this fills up and you're still dropping off logs, it'll start putting the lumber over here. Now, I did get it to work once, but one thing I've noticed is that it'll only produce so long as the number of materials to process equals the capacity of the mill. Right now I've got 1 ton of logs sitting here, but it'll only produce if there's at least 2 tons of logs. And that gets kind of tricky to deal with. I'm going to put that as a dev note. Maybe make it so that it'll produce even if there's less than max capacity. Could just be a thing. Could just be me. They've also added this coal unloader, which you'll see once we get over to the freight depot. For the moment, let's pop back over to the map, head back to our train, if we can find it under the massive symbol. Well, first we're going to fall through the map. Might help if I tell it to go to the train. Here. There we go. So coming back to the train, if I were to place another coal let's say I'm going to place a coal storage. We can do that real quick. Go into our flycam mode. Now, see these blue lines? The blue lines tell you that this is attached to that industry. If you get it too far away and it's not attached, that storage building will not do anything. It has to be within the range. And just for kicks, we'll put one in. Haven't done this yet. Well, maybe, if it'll let me. There we go. So in theory, this is now going to start loading up more coal so that we can handle more than just that 120 tons. I'm not sure how it works with the coal. Okay, it looks like it's starting to fill up now. Yeah, so it'll just keep loading up as it goes. And again, we've got that coal tower, so we're producing twice as much as normal. We're not going to be able to afford another coal car for a bit because it is expensive. Now with that out of the way, let's head down to our freight depot that actually has a coal dock, because I took some time to put one in. And this is going to take a while. This is very heavy. Now you might be wondering, well, how can you tell where the coal is? Well, you've got this extra icon on the map now for the coal. And if you turn it on, it'll tell you how much coal is sitting in any given chunk. If there's no coal, it'll just be 0, but you can see like some of these have a very small amount, and these red ones have a lot. One of these chunks that's buried under the symbol had over 600 tons. Your mine will pick up in a, what is it, a 5x5 chunk radius centered on the mine. And like the logging camp, as you're moving your building around the map when you're placing it... Oh, here, let's get out of the view again. It'll tell you what the estimated yield of your mine is. And in this case, it was over 6,000. So that was pretty nifty. Now let's get back to actually running this thing. Because of where it ended up, it's in a, like, the middle of a canyon, or I guess a gulch or gully or something. And there's no tunnels in this game, so I had to make a big cut through the mountain to get out. And we're just using the little guy for now. And again, they also have double production buildings for the sawmill, which is an additional mill building, and the logging camp, which is those little huts you were seeing. And they do cost money to place, so unfortunately, you're not going to get those little hut buildings as free decoration anymore. I haven't used this part of the line much, so it's kind of nice to be able to take a run up it. We're just doing a short haul with the coal this time. Oh, I'm almost out of gas. This thing is very heavy, apparently. I guess that should not surprise me. And I've got more gas I can put in, I just forgot to do it when I spawned this engine. If I have to, we'll cut the engine, or we'll delete the engine, put it back on with the full tank. Or I can just plop down a fuel thing right next to the track. For now, we'll just keep coasting. I don't know if anyone's going to join tonight. I put this bridge as 60. I never go 60, but now I am going 60. This engine only goes about 40 regularly anyway, so that tells you how much momentum we had coming down the hill from the mine. I would say another engine is probably what we want to use for this sort of thing. Maybe get one of those Class 08s. Have to, you know, afford one first, but it could be a good engine for this sort of thing. I don't remember if I've got a fuel depot up here. Let's check the map. Doesn't look like it, but I can plop one down. And once again, we do have, you can see that this freight depot takes coal because we put in a coal unloader. Now, I probably don't have it in the optimal setup, but we're gonna make use of it. I have also extended the line further that way. If someone else comes on, then maybe we'll go take a look at it. For the time being, we're gonna run around this car and put it in the unloader. So go to that view, disconnect, down. We're gonna put a fuel stand right about here, I think. Let's do that real quick. Seems like a decent spot for it. One of these days, I will learn to do this without, you know, running out of fuel all the time. At least this thing doesn't take a whole lot. Yeah, it only takes like 300 liters. See, we're already done. Barely spent any money on that. Not like those bigger engines. So now we go forward. Now, I'm not sure we're going to try and place another mine today, just because, again, they're really expensive. It kind of depends how much money we get out of this thing. If I was reading the sign right, it's currently offering like 380 bucks a ton, and we have 30 tons, so it's a decent amount, but it's not a huge amount. Keep in mind that one flat car of lumber is, I think, 13 tons? Well, actually, maybe that's more substantial than I thought. I think we'll make more money on coal than we will on lumber. We just have to remember that the mine costs a lot to build as well. Alright. So let's go spot it. This is my first time unloading the car, so I have only a vague idea of what I'm doing. We might just shuttle mode this after this. Depends on if we get a second hopper. 2 hoppers, we won't try that. 1 hopper, we might. A little too soon. This would have been a great time to make use of this lead track I went through all the trouble of building. You know, so that we can just not block the main line when we're switching. You know? That would be a great time for that. I should have thought of that. And AJ Mercer, hello! Now, I think the optimal way to do this is you make this a through track, and then you can just run your train through it and keep going. You know, kind of like what the big railroads would do. And I think this is your unloading bar. Yeah. So we are now unloading at $384 a ton. And I think we just kind of go until the coal stops flowing. Now, how do we get paid? There we go. There's a money. Oh, wow. Almost 12,000 for just that one car. Well, I think we're gonna go do a few more of these trips. So let's go do another trip, and I'll show you how to load the car as well. Now, because of how this is set up, I haven't added this to the other freight depot at Thorny Lake yet. It's, that one, you know, we'll just stick on this track. The area at Thorny Lake is a bit more constricted. And again, that unloader has to be part of a freight depot as far as I can tell. I don't think it works on its own. Now, that could change in the future. It could be they add, like, a power plant. I think they've talked about that. Adding a power plant that you can unload coal at, so then your loader would be tied to that instead of a freight depot. That'd be kind of cool, actually. For now, it's just us and one hopper. I think I'm going to have to build another freight depot at some point, though. The ones I've got aren't paying me as much as they used to. Maybe I've just been servicing a couple of them too much. At least the passengers are all pretty consistent. The other challenge is going to be finding somewhere else with a comparable amount of coal. So far, on the map I've got, I haven't really found that. There's a few places with decent amounts of coal, but nothing like that. At some point, I really ought to like calculate the rate of return on these, because it's $100,000. So it's $100,000 to build your mine. So if you're getting paid $12,000 a car, well, a little less. Let's call it 11. Let's call it. You know what? Let's call it 10,000 because I don't know what the average pricing is. So that means you need to haul at least 10 cars or about 300 tons in order to replace the cost of that mine. So that's actually not too bad. It means if you get a 3,000 ton mine, you get 100 carloads. You'll make your money back and then some, as long as you don't instantly spend it all. I guess you could make that a similar case for your logging camps, too. And Gaming with Brightblade, hello! Yes, this is pretty cool. I'm glad they've made this update. I think it's gonna... It means that we're not just hauling logs all the time, which is kind of nice. Let's go see how much coal they've got right now. Because again, the mine itself was full when we left, and then we added the storage. I wonder what the max capacity on that storage is. So I just sold one load of coal, and it was 12,000 at like 380 bucks a ton. This car holds slightly more than 30 tons. And again, it's gonna vary, because I'm pretty sure when I first put down that coal unloader, the price was over $400 a ton. We might try placing another one later and see if we get a better price on it, but we'll see. I would need to figure out where I can place it, if that makes sense. I'll probably just have to build a new freight depot somewhere. But for now, let's head back to the mine and you can see that. Off to me. Maybe I should redo this and add a crossover somewhere. This poor guy is struggling to haul just the one car. And I've kept my grade under 3% for the most part, so that's saying something. At the moment, I cannot afford another one, because again, the hoppers are like 95,000. So it is definitely a lot of in-game investment to get into the coal side. And we got my little semi-jank bridge. I think when I laid this, I forgot to say, not horizontal ends. So this is actually probably gentler than it otherwise would be. I'm not going to change it. Okay. Coming up on the mine. Again, no tunnels, and because of the topography, I just kind of ended up blasting through a hillside. And yeah, for this one car, I don't think I'm going to bother running around. We are getting a lot of coal in there, though. That's our storage shed, so that's a separate building from the mine. And so is the extra coal mine tower over there. Little too fast there. Try that again. Okay. So now we climb up. And we're gonna... Oh, okay, yeah, we've got like 300 tons right now. So we're gonna open the chute. And if I open it all the way, you can see it's going to come out and fill really fast. I don't want that. Because, again, this thing will not stop after it fills. It's just going to keep dumping and therefore wasting coal. There we go. Trust me, the first time I dumped this, that went down to about 70 tons from 120. So, you gotta be careful. Now, once we get more cars and I'm running around, it will make a little more sense, because we can bring in a line of hoppers and then shove them up my insanely steep tail track. Which also got built kind of bad, so... In the meantime, away we go. Probably turn day-night cycle on for this game at some point. And it says it's not accepting coal. I hope that's not a bug. Well, maybe we will have to go build a new freight depot somewhere. It feels like it's a bug. Well, we'll get down off the main line, then we'll see if we can build a place in Thorny Lake. And hopefully that one takes, you know, more than one carload itself. Otherwise coal is going to be kind of broken. But we'll see. ahead. Does the map really say that it's not taking coal right now? That's frustrating. On the upside, the price for beams is recovering. It was pretty low earlier. So if nothing else, we can go back to running some log trains. That's bugged. Let's go check our turnouts. We go that way and that way. Guess we could also take some time and go empty out this log camp. Okay, hey look, the thing resets. So yeah, 683 tons on that square. That's a lot. So we'll head in the Thorny Lake and see what we got here. But yeah, I really hope that's not a case of deliver once and done. That was kind of dumb. And our signals are kind of glitched. I think it's a chunk loading thing. I'm not positive, but I think so. One of these days, maybe I'll go through and try to debug all the signals. Yeah, those should not still be red. And we've almost finished logging that, so we could take a train up that as well. Or if one of my friends joins, we could send them up. Okay, well that signal works at least. And of course that is the branch to the Ashmore logging camp, which is now exhausted. So, I don't know if we'll ever go up there again unless we have a reason to. We might build another coal mining branch off of that. We're gonna ease into the yard track, and then we'll stop and figure out where we can put our unloader. Let's see. We have a couple coaches sitting here. We've got someone else's train sitting there. Kind of be going past the yard, but maybe we could do something here. Or we could tear out this wall and do something along the backside. I'd rather not, though. Let's see about maybe something. Oh, well, I just deleted the train. It's okay. So that would work. We're getting to the edge of our range is the thing. But I think it would work. Make the angle a little bit better. How tall does this thing get? Okay, we don't need it that tall. We'll just go to there, I think. Alright, 4,000. And I think we'll also put in another turnout here. And maybe a little further up. Heck, maybe we do it that. Excuse me. Okay, now it's the game of how far can I make that track before the turnouts start messing with each other. Let's try that length. Yeah, that'll work. Oh. Well, that won't. Oh, it kinda will. Definitely having to build some interesting track right now. And we'll include a tail. Oh. Nope. Nope. Not what we wanted. Okay, well, we'll give that a shot. It says the coal is selling at about almost 400 bucks a ton, so let's see what happens. And we'll see if it actually lasts more than one load as well. While I'm at it, I'm gonna put back the engine. And we'll give it a full load of fuel, because why not? Sorry, Hans. Alright, and now we unload it. That price is probably going to change while we're unloading, so that's a little nerve-wracking. Guess not. Okay, we close that. And it did change a little bit. And we should get a notification at some point. Yep, there we go. 12,000. And it says it's still taking it. So maybe this is our new thing. Unless the other one has decided it wants it again. Oh yeah, we also have this, what looks like a decent reserve of coal over here. Probably put the mine there and grab all that. And you'll notice these colors exist on the regular map too. It looks like that version might be bugged. Yeah, this one is saying it's still just coal. Alright, well, let's go do another run and we'll see what happens. Since we did have to build this unloader, we didn't really get the full 12,000. We basically got 8, but we'll see. This is still a game where it's very easy to modify your save and cheat in money or equipment. I'm trying not to do that, but I did do it for the coal mine just so that I wouldn't spend a whole stream grinding up to build it. We'll just pretend I ran, like, 200 loads of people. Bonk. It is probably worth thinking about where else I could put a freight depot. I'm thinking down on the far end of the line at Skill Kit, which is where the new logging camps are. I did have to build a new one because I exhausted the one I had. Well, I'd kind of prepared for that, so not a huge deal. Celestial Caboose. Well, that's an interesting way to get into the stream. That's all I'm going to say on that front, but welcome. We're playing with coal right now. Go back and watch the last 40 minutes to see how this all started. Let's see if the, yeah, that freight depot's still saying it doesn't want coal, which is annoying. How about the other one? Does the other one still want coal? We just built this one. Nope, this one also suddenly has decided it will no longer accept coal. Well, that's annoying. I'll at least take this car up to the mine. Kind of curious to see how much that storage maxes out at. That's second one for the devs, I guess. Coal chutes only seem to take one carload at a time. That's okay, we've got more logs we can run. And away we go. This thing, I'm so used to running the big center cap, this thing feels so slow now. I feel just a little bad for saying it, but it does. I guess we could just try dropping off another load and seeing what happens. Maybe we'll do a partial load this time so that we don't, you know, burn a whole 30 tons of coal on something that might not work. Try to keep things interesting, never let them know your next move. Yeah, well, I didn't see that one coming. Well, it's funny. A couple weeks ago, I was having discussions about Florida Man with some friends from Bible study. Kind of a weird thing. Really ought to rebuild this branch. Yeah, we'll give a partial try at one of the stops. And then if that doesn't work, we'll just go back to logging for a bit until the devs fix things. I'm trying to remember what my Florida Man thing was. Because, you know, you can put in your birthday and type Florida Man and see what comes up. Some people had some really interesting ones. Yep. So let's see. It's holding 417 tons of coal right now. And it looks like there's space to store more, so presumably those piles will grow. Because this holds 120. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. In any case, let's just put, I don't know, 6-7 tons of coal in here. Hey, look! We did in fact put 6-7 tons of coal in there. Oh, yeah, it's still loading up the storage shed. Well, I mean, it's got something like 6,000 tons of coal to draw from underground, so... Yeah, we'll just drop off this and see if the unloading chute actually still works or if it actually stops. We'll go up to the one at Pottsburg for this. Florida man arrested after throwing his own glass eye at doctor. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Guess I don't need the gas on while we're coasting down this hill at high speed. we can coast pretty much all the way to Pottsburg from here. We've got tons of speed. And we're going significantly faster than this engine normally would. Yep, that glitched. Interesting to redo this and see what sort of grades I gave myself here. Because I think I did all this before they changed to per mil grades as opposed to the degrees of angle. And as a track engineer, I can tell you, we never measure our slope in, like, degrees. We use that for our curve sizes. That'll make a nice little screenshot, even if you don't know which way I'm going. Yep, another glitch. And we'll just coast on up onto the thing. And this says it's paying 397 a ton, so let's dump out our 6-7 tons. See what happens. It is in fact empty. Okay, it does still pay us. It's just that the map is not cooperating. So that's a minor bug. We just need the consistent display that it takes coal. And how much it wants for it. Okay, yeah, now it's back to showing it. That's kind of weird. Might be some distance thing. I don't know. In any case, let's go load up this thing for realsies with coal. Get an actual full load down. Keep an eye on this and see when or if the freight depot stopped showing the price of coal again. It might be a chunk loading thing. If the chunks unloaded, it stopped showing coal. Yeah, it's still showing it, but I think the chunk is still loaded. We'll check again when we get across the diamond. Incidentally, there was something last time that I think I said was bugged, and I can't remember what it was. Whatever it was, it might have been the loading queuing. They fixed that. The loading queuing works now. So, I'll try and demonstrate that since we will at some point go do a log run. Maybe we'll do one more load of coal and then we'll go run logs again. Just because this is such a long, slow trip for this guy. Okay, yeah, it has now stopped. I think that's a chunk loading thing. Yeah, we'll go run one more load of coal just so I can demonstrate this again, and then we'll switch to the log train. And you can see the new camp. And once we can afford a second hopper, we'll do that, and we'll go back to running coal for a bit. Come on, little guy. You got this. Probably get these signals running at some point. Moving right along, da 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 da. Really use some Muppets right now. And now we go up. Yeah, I was trying to keep the grade on this fairly gentle, so that's why it's so long. But, I mean, you can see how high we get up there, and we're not even cresting the ridge, we're just plowing straight through it. Be a great spot for an over-under shot. Thing slows down quick. Looks like it's still holding 418 tons. I'm willing to bet the actual amount is 420 tons in there, or the max it'll hold in the storage is 300 tons on top of the 120 to make 420 total. And again, because it'll only go in the whole amounts, it's not going to fill that until it can get exactly 420 in there. Let's dump it. There we go. Yeah, we'll do one more and then we'll do the log train, and we might put the warehouse over there just to see what the max capacity on the warehouse is. And again, go flying down the mountain. And then pretty much just coast all the way to the place, because we will coast faster than this engine can move us. Those signals will always be green. Again, I should probably redo the signals at some point. I don't remember if we've determined if you can actually hit each other on that diamond. I want to say the answer is no. I think I tested that early on. We did have, of course, the really weird one here last time with Caleb. Not too much to do right now. We're basically just rolling along. Okay, there is a little bit of a dip there. I think I talked about my Sumpter Adventures last stream. Conductor on Photo Freights, 50th anniversary. Went fairly well overall. Do what you can, adapt to what you can't, or fix what you can, survive what you can't, something like that. Change the things you can change and that are in your control, or whatever the phrase is. Didn't go perfectly, but it went fairly well. So let's dump a full load of coal here this time. Yeah, price is now over 400 if we can just get into it fast enough. Yeah. Oh, no, it dipped again. Dang it. Oh, you can dump on both sides. I didn't realize that. Probably want those closed before you reload the car, though. Nah, that's okay. Still got 12,000 for it. So we're just gonna leave him here for now. Save the game. And let's go find Freightliner. Hello? Where'd it go? You're supposed to be right there. Why are you not there? Do I have to do... Is it this bug again? I think it is this bug again. Dang it, I hate this bug. Okay, well, fortunately, I did not leave that train loaded. I have started making a habit of not having loaded trains on these tracks. And this logging camp is also busy because that building got placed by accident. It's not supposed to be way the heck up there. Alright, so we do that, we do that. And I guess we do want to do one more. And we put down our 6 cars. I've decided I like 6 as the number. I'd love to try and figure out if there's a way to do a custom scheme, even if it's just hijacking one of the stock ones and then changing it. Oh, hang on. Let's try that with a full tank of fuel, with more fuel in it, huh? That's the worst part, is the you lose all your fuel above 1,000 liters. we're gonna put a warehouse here too. Just because I want to see how that works for logs. And yeah, that was another $5 grand that we just spent, so keep that in mind. Your storage buildings do cost money. Okay, yeah, it's gonna start loading up because there's not enough space here. And we do have all 6 cars. Got a big loop here. It would also be kind of nice if you could tell how much wood was left at any given spot, or coal for, I guess. It's like you can see how much is in the warehouse, at least. Okay, and I guess the sawmill... Well, not the sawmill. The logging camp comes with the warehouse. So, that's kind of... So, this one is kind of actually gratuitous. I guess it'll be a nice indicator of when we're starting to run low. Good to know, because the sawmill doesn't come with the warehouse, to my knowledge. Yeah, the sawmill just has your 1 building, so that's your ×1 production. Kind of like the camp comes with the camp building, which is your ×1. But it does not come with the extra warehouse. Things you learn. Oh, no, hang on, wrong way. And then at some point, if I want to, I can just do that, and it'll load up the dock again. Same with lumber. If you do manage to get a lumber warehouse, which is kind of tricky, because you have to fill up the dock, and that means you're putting down your lumber one at a time. And yeah, there's our shift queuing, and if we do this, X plus left click, it's going to cancel the queue. So that actually works now. So we'll just let it keep loading up the dock and then the warehouse. And now we move on. Once again, one of these days I'll do a day-night cycle. Maybe we'll make that this day. We'll do the 20 minute to start. And then at some point we'll fix it again. So for the next 20 minutes, it'll be day-night. Except I think that means that it's going to be nighttime by the time we get to the sawmill, but that's okay. I was kind of lazy building this track. I was not really following the topography. And yeah, we want to go that way. That's the line to the old logging camp, which is now empty, but we might throw a coal mine up there at some point. So I've left that part of the track intact. And then we'll just have to figure out how to get back over the main line and tie back in. And we'll also do some coasting. Seem to have enough train. Can I move the map? Nope, that's moving me to there. That's not what I wanted. I can never get those two things correct. Let's make sure our switches are set. Yes. Run to the sawmill for now. And again, 95,000 is what we need in order to buy another hopper. Get the day-night cycle set up. Yeah. It's hard to tell because I can't see the shadows moving. This view, I can't look at the sky. Slant. Yeah, those signals are still doing weird things. Those ones are supposed to be yellow, because those are going off to the great unknown. I guess I could put a speed sign on this branch. Let's do that, just for fun. That's an environment? No. Railroad. We got some funky track right there, too. Well, now you can tell the sun is starting to go down. Those shadows are starting to look kind of long. Turn off the focus. I did find out you can do partial focus and the train will move away from you. Or towards you, as the case may be. Yeah, now you can actually kind of see the shadows moving. So we'll just go ahead and start loading up some of these. Then we can take these flat cars with us. We'll also start unloading the ones we've brought in. Oh look, a door. Apparently you can open that one. Is there anything inside? I don't remember ever looking. Ah! There is actually stuff in here. It's kind of cool. You can go up the chute. I don't think this is actually what it looks like inside, but that's okay. I'm not going to complain. It's actually kind of nifty. It's not really like you need much in the way of an interior, because, you know, most people aren't going to try and come in here. Just happened to notice, oh, you can open that. Oh, you can go up here too. Sometimes it's just the little things, you know? Oh, it's nighttime outside. Sun is set and we're doing the switching at night. Yeah, it's gonna look like we're losing money on this until we actually drop off all the wood. So we're paying about $290 for it right now, or just under 300. So as long as we sell it for more than that, we're fine. I think this one's starting to recover again, is what I was seeing. Ugh, no. It was. And then it stopped. Might be taking this back to the other end. Back over to Thorny Lake. Actually, let's buy these ones and load those. We'll close the door. Were you raised in a barn? That question got asked of me the other week, and the answer is, well, apparently yes, because I know to let the other animals in behind me. But no, I was not actually raised in a barn. And yeah, this one's producing still just the 1 ton at a time, which is very slow. And I'm too scared to leave this alone because I'm worried it's gonna, like, despawn again. So we're just gonna hang out. Oh wait, hang on. Can we... nope, that's not full yet. Dang it. I could buy another sawmill building and this would go faster. I think that might actually be worthwhile. And once again, you'll notice it's got the little link to it. And make that line up. Yeah, let's do that. So now it'll actually produce twice as fast. Do we want it to produce twice as fast? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That's slightly off. Good enough. When it takes so long to produce stuff, you start taking shortcuts like that. But that is another 10 grand we just spent, so we might not be getting the other coal hopper this stream. Go. The mills I'm willing to invest more in because we will probably keep using them. There's plenty of trees around to cut. The camps and mines, not as much. Go. So let's go grab the other cut of cars now. And this one can just, we can unload it as needed. Those headlights do not provide a lot of light, do they? I mean, it's enough. Bonk. Oops. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? Just, like, get these actually in the platform now. Sold. Okay. There we go. Now, at some point, that mill will convert all these over, so we'll be good again. So now, let's get out of here. Some sort of rear brake fan would be nice in the dark, you know? Just something so that we can see where we're going behind us. They had those in Europe, I know that much. They weren't quite as ubiquitous as the caboose, but they did exist. see. So there, okay, there the price went up. So as long as it holds, we'll go there. And I mean, worst case, maybe we just park the train and wait for the price to recover. That is an option. Alright, away we go. Yeah, that one's already dropping a bit. That one's selling for a lot, so yeah, maybe we just go back to Thorny Lake for a while. Kind of the whole point of having both as options. For a while, Thorny Lake was the cheap one, and Pottsburg was giving us a better price. Slam through that switch. Over the diamond. Really ought to do something about that switch. I think we previously determined that if you derail something and then re-rail it, the re-rail does not keep loads. I could also just finish that double track, I guess. Yeah, here's the mill here at Ponderosa. And you'll notice also a second building and then the warehouse, which is not really being used, because it's kind of hard to get enough logs in there to make it worthwhile. It's got a couple sitting there that it's not doing anything with, because it's less than the 2 tons of logs. So again, since I know the dev watches my streams when I post them, making it so that the industries will work even if not at max capacity would be nice. I do appreciate what you've been doing so far, though. Never let my suggestions be read as this game is bad. This game is really good. That's more speed, because our speed has dropped a lot. And, you know, stuff like that might be coming, but it's nice to get the quality of life out of the way. And, you know, sometimes I ask the devs for things and they say, oh, well, no, it's in the game, you're just doing it wrong. And sure enough, I was wrong. Maybe that's how it is with the industries, but I don't know on that one. It's not really an obvious way to adjust production. Alright. Make sure switches are still good. They should be. No, the logging camp up there has got to be getting close to empty by now. And let's not line ourselves for the coal track. Price here still pretty good. Yeah, nah, it dropped a lot too. Well, we don't have to sell it right now is the nice thing. We can wait for the price to recover. What is it over at Pottsburg? Yeah, it's still not great there either. At least with these, you can unload them and then wait. The coal, you can't really do that. I said to unload multiple. Maybe not. Yeah, let's wait and see if we can get that price back up to at least 340. We paid about 300, so technically this is still a profit, but it's not much of one. Wouldn't mind a little more money per ton. And again, we can always leave and come back later. Yeah, I don't think the price is going to go up for a bit. Roll forward a bit. Oh, there you go, the lights just came on. You can also do a longer day-night cycle. I would kind of like to have the, I guess, the Railroads Online style where you can adjust how long the day and night parts are. Because that was super nice. I could do a very long day and then a short night. If you go to Miniature Wonderland in Hamburg, which also has a day-night cycle on its model railroad, I think the day is like about twice as long as the night. Oh, I'll have to sell one of these. Gotta sell one in order to get the flat cars unloaded. And this work? No, I do have to get in the cab for this guy. Let's turn around. Technically, this is a double ender. I just like having it face forward all the time. We're not going to fuel up. We've got enough. There we go. And we do the spinny spin. Yeah, again, their way of doing the turntable is maybe not the perfect way, but it's a pretty good way. It's easy enough to understand. There's worse ways out there. Which reminds me, when's the last time that Loco shortline operations got updated? Do I even still have that game? Yeah, there's also something about Steam Cloud saves. In case you want to play this on multiple devices. Okay, yeah, the last update to Loco shortline operations was July 2024. So almost 2 years now. I do remember that being kind of fun to play back when Railroads Online was going down the tubes. But now I don't think I'd do that. Let's turn off the focus here. And then we'll just keep an eye on what the price does, and if it goes up, we'll deposit more. We'll sell what we got. Coal's at a pretty good price though, so I think we might go run another coal train. Again, it could fall off by the time we get back. For now, I'll just run this thing back down to the skill kit camp. One of these days they're going to implement overspeed derailments, and I'm going to pay the price for it. But this is not that day. In the meantime, I'm about to step away for a second, so let's just watch this guy go. Oh, maybe I'll do it from in the cab. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, I'm back. Full throttle. Let's see how many animals we clobber tonight. You know, I don't normally play this in first person like this. This is actually kind of fun to watch, though. Oh, we got high beams. We got a cabin light. I don't know if the high beams are doing anything. Turn off the cabin light for a bit, too. Oh, there it goes. Much better. I don't know why the sander keeps coming on. Okay, I'm gonna pop back to the deep to there, and we're gonna sell stuff. You know, once it loads in. Don't worry about the train. Oh, no, you said it was... It said it was higher. I could have sworn it said it was 350. Oh, okay, fine. We'll go back to Freightliner for a bit. And once the chunk loads in, we'll be moving. We're like not actually in the cab, but it thinks we're in the cab, which is kind of funny. See, now it says it's higher again. And now it actually is higher, so let's hurry up and sell stuff. See? And now, okay, now we're really close. So let's get that train back to where we want it to go. Get the train back down to where we want to go, and then we'll run one more coal train. And then we can hopefully afford our hopper. And we'll take this coal train to Thorny Lake as well, just because. Although that means we have to... Well, first we have to run it from Pottsburg to the mine, and then we'll take it to Thorny Lake. Go a little throttle for a bit. We can coast for a while. to the station. We'll want to reline these switches behind us. And again, just coast our way back down. More throttle for a bit. Take the Y. I don't think we'll actually park this at the depot. We'll try putting it on the other end of the loop. And then we'll see if that helps with the train disappearing when you teleport away problem. Once again, there's the giant tower of logging camp. Kind of curious how full it is now. Keep our control real quick. We'll go that way, so we're over there. Looks like we've managed to fill up both warehouses. Yeah. It's worth mentioning this camp is only supposed to get about, I think, slightly under 900 tons of logs. It would be nice if they lasted a little longer than that. But, it's a game mechanic, I guess. Alright, let's save. We'll run ourselves a short distance away, and then we'll teleport over to Pottsburg to get the other train. I might be able to go straight to the train. Don't think that's gonna work. That's what the screen tends to look like right before it fails to teleport me. There we go. So, let's go do one more coal drag. Just so that the people who are joining us now can see what I was talking about. So this is, of course, the new feature in the game, adding coal. So we've added this coal unloading dock. Here, do it this way. We've added the coal unloading dock, or coal unloader to the freight depot. You can see it's linked. And so now we're going to take the engine and our one hopper up to the mine to reload. And passenger train is sitting there because we haven't done anything with it. And this time we'll take the coal over to Thorny Lake instead of up to Pottsburg. Oh, hang on. Not what I want to do. Come back! That way you can see the coal loading and coal unloading process. It's just gonna, take a little while to get up to the coal mine. That way we can buy a second hopper, and eventually a third hopper, and a fourth, and a fifth. And probably a Class 08 to haul it all, because this thing is not going to be strong enough to do it after a few hoppers. Mind you, the Class 08 is also pretty slow. Admittedly, I think it's actually slower than this thing. Let's take a quick look at the shop. Yeah, ha ha ha. Maybe we won't get a Class 08 for that. Just gonna crawl our way through the night. Can I do that? Okay, will put me back in the cab. And on the high beams. Okay, that does actually make something of a difference. Turn on the cab light so I can actually see what I'm doing. Again, I don't tend to use this. Run through the night. It's gonna take a bit. Give us about another 5 minutes and we'll be at the coal mine. Now mind you, we have coal. They've talked about adding water, which makes sense because there's a water tank car in the game. So hopefully that means at some point we will get something that requires both coal and water. Mind you, the one I was messing with last week uses wood and water, but same concept. Almost there. Oh, now I'm gonna have to load this thing in the dark. I have to build a light up there just so I can see what I'm doing. Let's see. I don't remember if the mine comes with one. And I think if I do this again in the future, or next time I stream, I'll have the day-night cycle reset to like an hour instead of the 20 minutes. Okay, it does look like there's some amount of lighting there. Yeah, there's actually a pretty good amount of lighting there, so I don't think I need to add more. So we hop out of the cab, climb up the ladder, go up, tell that thing to dump for a while. You really don't need to have it very far open. Yeah. It only holds 30 tons, but if you keep dumping, it will overfill the car and you'll just lose it. Which I do not mind as a gameplay thing. It forces you to pay attention. Go. Maybe I should put in a switch up here so that we can go either way. Alright, Game with Bright Blade, thanks for watching, and yeah. Catch the VOD. I don't think we'll be streaming too much longer tonight anyway. Yeah, I think a switch there and then drop down towards the main would be good. Or a switch here and circle over. We'll go to Georgetown, loop it. Let's say once we have daylight and I can actually see what I'm doing. Nope. Need a little bit more. Give me a little bit of oomph. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo this junction, I can tell. Alright. Ahead. Let's get our high beams back on. We'll leave the rear reds off for now. Now we slog. Yep, hit that. Past, I think this is Burker Exchange. I've got it marked on one of my maps as just Burker. Admittedly, passengers don't have specified destinations yet, so it doesn't really matter where you're taking them. Again, that is, I think, a coming feature. That should not be a red light. There is not a train ahead of us. Again, I think this is another one of those chunk loading things. Now it can be red. One going the other way is right. Signals do actually stand out a lot more at night. Up the red. Behind is yellow. It's not quite right. Those also should not be red. And these ones just hold yellow because they're at the yard. And that one's fine. Something tells me once you start getting multiple inputs and outputs, like at these junctions, that's where things start breaking down. Yeah, we got a couple coaches there. We could do a quick passenger run and swap our passenger cars out. I was hoping Caleb would get a chance to see those, but he didn't join us tonight. Alright, the price is $3.92. I think we're gonna unload anyway. In multiplayer, it might be possible to do, like, your run-through unloads. I'm not sure. Oh, well, there we go. Quick. Dump it! Dump it, dump it, dump it! Get it all out. And pay me. There we go. Ah, well, dropped a little bit. Okay. Well, let's buy another hopper. And then we'll throw that on the train, too. And then I think what we're going to do is I'm going to save. Oh, hang on. And we're going to change the set time. We're going to change this back to the fixed time. Oh, that's right. You can also set it to just match your time. And hey, look, you just saw where I live. Oops. Just forget you saw that. Oh, you can change your... Interesting. We're going to leave that as is. And we're going to leave weather off. So let's go back over to where we were. And let's go play with some track. Even knowing this is going to be a temporary branch, I feel like I want to do it better. Man, that looks kind of weird. Put in one of those. I want to say it's now it's the same. Yeah, we do want to like demo that and redo it too. So that goes to there. That maybe I need to redo these as well. Okay, yeah. So those tracks are gonna... well, that's not great. I'm not super thrilled, but we can make that work. There we go. And now let's do another one up here. Do I want a lefty or a righty? We'll do that. And then swing that around. Yeah, it'll make it a little bit steeper, but that's okay. No, we're not going to be able to fit that. So now it's back to that. I think we'll still have enough clearance here doing that. We'll find out next train that goes under it. Scooch that. No, hang on. Yeah, not thrilled with that either. That's the challenge with like the procedurally placed bridges. What about this? Yeah, okay, I think that'll work. Maybe not. And now swing it over. Still a little jank, but I think that's a bit more workable. Yeah. So let's save and we'll get the coal train back up there to reload it. Or at least we'll take it up. We might not reload it this time. Just be handy to have it where we want it. See if it can actually get these cars up the hill. We can turn off our contours again. That is a handy feature, I'll say that. And that's our chunks. That's a haze. That's our waypoints. F4, oh, that's our compass. That's right, I turned that one off because of taking thumbnails. It's daytime. Or at least we'll change into more sensible lights. Oh man, I keep forgetting. It's so slow and it's just this thing. Nope, we're still slogging along, but now we can go up the hill. So we want to rethrow that, and I guess we'll throw that one. That's gonna be fun. And of course, we still got the giant oversized coal mine there. So I guess to summarize, the three things I would point out to developers is A, please make industries work at less than full capacity, just so that they process everything. B, make it so, double check the coal loadouts or coal docks on the map so that they'll always show prices regardless of whether the chunk is loaded. And also figure out how to make that smaller. It's not supposed to be that size. It works for all the other ones, so I'm not sure why it's doing that with the coal mine one. Still, all in all, great update. It's nice being able to enhance your industry production. It's nice that you do have to have some sort of cost for it as well. And of course, new stuff to haul. Always good. Whee! Yoink! I'm not going to complain about procedural bridges, because Railroads Online had that same problem. I think they solved it by giving you options for like a fixed truss bridge that you can put over a gap. In this case, I'm just making do with that. Might need to see about changing that, but we'll see. Again, it'll depend on the next train to come through there. And yeah, also, leave this as it is. I mean, it's a little annoying to get out of, but you can do it. So, I honestly don't mind, and I really don't want to be rebuilding this coal mine somewhere else until it's drained. 6,000 tons is a lot, as far as I can tell. Oh, a little too fast. Well, we'll get this shoved back in, and I think we're going to call it a stream. Thank you all for watching, of course, and especially for watching the VOD. Do the usual YouTuber, like, sub, button, bell, whatever things if you want. And, yeah. Next stream will hopefully be next Wednesday evening, back on the Silver Overland in Railroader. Until then, have a good night, go in peace, and take care.